Hello and welcome back to another video on this channel. This devlog is a little bit different than the other ones because we are not in Unity Engine and this cube is not my world. This is just a big block inside of Magica Voxel, and in this video I want to show you how I create some of my objects, export them to Unity and then populate a world site with these new objects. So the idea in this video is to create some objects for my purplish mystic whatever world site, and in the last video we already created a glow effect for the crystal. So the first approach is to create a crystal for that. As like every object is in the 16-16-16 size range, I would like to stick to that. Even though this is just a crystal, I want to stick to the already existing stone prefab and have a little look on how this could look at the end. So let's delete everything for the start and then just create the crystal itself. I would say that we just want to have some kind of small centerpiece and then work ourselves to the top. So I think this is alright, and then I just easily expand this. The color itself is not that relevant because we want to use another material we created last time. So I can attach new blocks to this just quickly as that. And I think this is totally fine. And now I want to mirror that basically. Of course, I think that Magica Voxel indeed has some kind of mirroring options right here, but I'm not sure how this works, and I just stick to stuff I already know. I feel kind of safe with that. And now I'm gonna expand this 1, 2, 1, 2, and then maybe start to cut it out again. So we have the erase tool here. Of course, this might not be the best approach, to be honest, but I think you already guessed it. You watched my videos. I'm not the creator with the best approaches, but at the end it kind of works every time. So I think it's not that bad, and that's why I think it's okay. Yep, and to be honest, I'm pretty happy with the result because you won't see that much of this object anyway, so I'm pretty sure this will work out. Another thing I want to create is some kind of mushrooms, so I want to just have super small mushrooms that probably are not collectible. I just have to check if it matches the whole idea of the game, because for example the grass is also not collectible, but we see maybe it matches pretty good and we can just use them. But for now, I just want to have them as kind of decorational environment object, something like this. So the player gets a better feel of the whole biome. And I think we can have these bigger, something like this. Or do we want to have it not that big? I think it's cool to have them not that big. Something like this is kind of cool. Also, of course, with different colors. Oh, maybe also a bit of red. Yep, I think this is super cool to have it that way. And now we want to repaint this. Cool. It's okay, I would say. We can later have a proper look on how this is looking inside of the game. But as a first model, I think this is cool. And the last thing I want to create in here is some kind of magic stones. And they are something like stalagmites, if you want it that way. Because I think it's pretty cool to have some higher stones. And also stones that are pretty high. And turn the more they are grown to the left or to the right, so the player can walk underneath. I really would like to have that, and I think this is the first approach, the first variant of this stalagmite, and then I will create another one, I guess, to just test if it is possible to have something that way. But first things first. So first thing is that I want to create the foundation of this thingy, and I think it's okay to have it going up pretty steep. I think this is totally fine. No. This does not look good. So let's try it again. So this is my intermediate result and it kinda looks good, I guess. But I still want to have it a little bit higher on the right place. Also, these both could be connected, I guess. I think they they could be connected with a little block right here. So something like this. Yeah, I think I like that. So it's not that exponented, I guess. Yes. This is pretty cool. And now I can increase this one and have a little block right here. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's not that, yeah, how should I say it? Looking like modern art. It kind of feels like it could be some kind of stalagmite, but I'm no geologist, so I really don't know if this is working at the end. But yeah, I kind of like the result. So I just try it out, and if it's working, if it looks good at the end, I just take it, and if not, then you watch some dude failing here right now. But to be honest, it doesn't look that bad. Please also say that. But to be honest, I think I just go with that. I kind of like that. So back in Unity, I just imported my objects and I put them all in my scene, and the important thing now is to extract the mesh from our prefab. So I right click, prefab, and then unpack. So I did that and can now delete the parent. This is important to have the renderer on the object itself. Of course, this might not be the best idea if you want to divide the logic from the rendering stuff, and maybe you have other stuffs in your game object like particles or stuff like that, but I kind of like it this way. And we can now find them, and you see they're all white because we do not have the correct material for these. So we're selecting all of these and then just apply the environment object material, and you see they are back in here. Nice. Except for the crystal, we can use that, and as we already said, we want to use the crystal material for our crystal, and look how it shines. I really like that. And the crystal itself won't be there because I don't think this is necessary. We kind of want to stick that to the stone mythic or to another stone to make it collectible. So let's scale it down a bit by going into our object and go to model, and then we can basically halve the size. And I'm just saying this as this was a kind of tutorial, but this is still a devlog. But I want to show you how I do this because this is super interesting if you were new to game development. Now I want to rotate this by just, rotating that and bringing this a bit to the top, something like this. Yep, and now we have our super cool stone with some mythic touch. Maybe I just remove it again, because the player could think that these are now collectible, but of course we can easily just give them another color to make sure the player don't think these are collectibles when we color them white or something like that. However, I then save them to a prefab and make sure they can be respawned again like 1,000 times. Nice. And then I can easily add them via the object type to my world side. It sounds a little weird, but the stone is a type of tree because it is high, and the mushrooms are currently not collectible, so it has the object type grass. It's not that clean, to be honest, but I'm fine with that. Then we can set the density of both of these and can play around with these numbers a little bit, and then have a look on how it looks within the game. And now, as you can see it, we have our objects within our game. We can interact with that. Of course, on the bottom right corner, you can't see nothing because you haven't found it yet. And the mushrooms are also there. I think it doesn't look too bad. Of course, like everything is missing, but this is the process on how I create my stuff, on how I import them into my game, and on how I set these values to have the objects generated within my world side. Yep, this is it. There's a lot more to do, but until now, I thank you really for watching. If you liked the video, then please hit the like button. If you don't like the video, then please hit the dislike button and comment down below what I can do better next time. And if you don't want to miss any updates on my game, then please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. We see us in the next video. Bye.